My name is Aaron, and I was seeing Dr. Seuss for a combination of things, but eventually it led to clear aligners. My experience with clear aligners was good. What I found was that the process was pretty straightforward, easy to maintain and keep up with. I had initial concerns that there might be some changes that would impact my life in a way that was really negative, but I did not find that to be the case. I definitely had some discomfort throughout the process. So like day 2, sometimes there's overage on the trays. So they go up beyond the teeth and into your gums. And so what impacted me was that it was cutting into my gums. So I came in like day 2 or 3 and was like, oh, I can do this. And they said, oh, I see what the problem is. And they cut some material out of there. I put them back in. I was like, oh yeah, I got this. I could do this forever at this point. And that was the first thing that stands out there. As you change trays throughout the process, there is discomfort because each new tray is trying to shift a portion of your teeth as you progress. That's the whole point, of course. And so your teeth aren't used to having that done to them. So as they change, you will have moments of pain, and it will feel like pain. Almost, it's more like just general discomfort. It's sore, but usually that soreness for me went away after like 5 or 10 minutes after you put the trays in. Your teeth kind of settle down. And then in tray progression, you wear a tray for anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks, from my understanding. And as I got to like day 3 of any tray progression, mine was 2 weeks, I found that the pain went away. The teeth adjusted, they got used to the new trays. So I had buttons and hooks on my teeth, initially just stuff on the outside of the teeth to allow for rubber bands to help draw teeth together. And then I also ended up in the second phase having hooks on the inside to help pull teeth back out, because as rubber bands work, they can pull your teeth in. And so the inside hooks help pull them back out to a more natural bite. I don't think I can think of anything specific that was difficult to eat throughout the process. What would impact me more is that as you progress through the trays, what I found with my trays anyway was that they kind of adjusted a specific 2, 4, 3 in any given tray. And this could be different for everybody. But what I found was that it would change where my teeth lined up. And so sometimes I ended up with like a point where I could only chew in one specific spot for a set of trays or a tray. And then in the next tray, it would adjust things again and teeth would line up better. I'd get more of my bite back. But there was a point in time where I could literally only chew right here. My hygiene appointments have definitely gotten smoother, because we'll go ahead and say that my hygiene was not 100% great prior to beginning this process. I, was advised that you needed to brush your teeth and floss before you put the trays back in. I did change to where I only ate twice a day to allow for maximum in time, because I was eating slower. So you're supposed to wear them for 22 hours a day. So I basically gave myself like an hour for one meal and an hour for the next meal, and then clean and flossed and brushed and flossed. The impacts to cleaning were that flossing, you occasionally, depending on which tooth you're working around, might have to be careful of snagging hooks or buttons if you're not straight up and down. Once you get kind of used to where those things are, you naturally adjust, and it becomes more straightforward. And there was definitely no issue with brushing. That is same as it always was. I've been to several dentists throughout my life, but this has been one of the best dental experiences I have ever experienced. Dr. Seuss is a wonderful person to work with. And no one brags about going to the dentist and having Like, no one wants to, right? Except for me. If people ask about my dentist, and sometimes even if they don't, I am quite happy to tell them about Dr. Seuss. Just genuinely a wonderful person who cares, remembers things, talks you through things, is straightforward. I would recommend clear aligners to people who specifically can have discipline. The need to keep track of them, to not lose them, to wear them the certain number of hours in a day makes all the difference in the world. Like, I was talking to somebody who was like, oh man, why doesn't everybody do clear aligners? Because I was telling them about my experience and how well it was working, and it was working well. And they were like, why do they have traditional braces at all? And I was like, well, because children will lose things, and you can't trust them to keep track of time to put their trays back in, especially if they're like at school or something. I wouldn't feel comfortable having children do that. They aren't paying for it, so they don't respect the money that got put into it. And if as an adult, you can look at yourself and go, I don't know that I would be able to do that, then I wouldn't recommend it. I'd recommend traditional braces. However, if you think you are capable of doing the time commitment, keeping track of the time, I would absolutely recommend clear aligners. I never did lose a tray, so I never had to replace a tray. Now I can't even think of a time where I thought I lost a tray. I was always incredibly diligent about tray maintenance because I was like, I don't want to misplace these things and have my teeth immediately go jagged.